Welcome to another episode of Biz Echoes. I'm your host, Ali. Today we have my co-host, Pro Toy, and we also have our guest, Jamielynn. She has been in the salon industry for more than 20 years now. She has mastered all parts of the business. She has her own salon as well, owner of Rogue House Salon, and a couple of other businesses. Not only that, she has been featured in Forbes and other top magazines, part of New York City. How are you today, Jamielynn?
I'm doing well. I'm so excited to be here.
Awesome. Yeah, so for all the viewers, I know I did give a small intro about yourself, but tell us a little bit more on how you got started in the world of entrepreneurship.
All right. So the way I got started in entrepreneurship, well, you already know when you are, in your waking soul, like even in, whatever stage it is. I remember when I was 6 years old, I held a cash register and I just wanted to play with money and let people buy stuff. I'm all, let's keep playing with my cash register. You kind of already know. But if you want the real story, I'll tell you the real story. Is that what we're here for?
Yeah,
Is that what we're here?
No,
Is that
we're for both of them.
where you want that? All right. Well, that was a 6-year-old version. So the entrepreneurship journey started 8 years ago. And I was just like everyone else. Was a top tier salon at one of the top tier salons in New York, Fox and James Salon. That's where I started. I was the first manager and I was the first hire. And I was there for 4.5 years and I helped with their operating systems and their managerial systems. So from there, I went and I had a lovely time and it kind of paved the way for my next journey, which led into booth renting. And as a booth renter, I did, what everyone did. And that was served. Or then there was a calling that everyone that was sitting in my chair, they're like, you're not supposed to be here. I'm like, what? But then that came that opportunity where I had saved money. I had pulled out a loan. Everything lined up. And when it lined up, that's when I got my first store. And that's when really the journey began in entrepreneurship.
Is that House of
No, that's
Rogue House?
Rogue House.
That's
Yeah.
Rogue House.
That's
That's
Rogue
how Rogue House became Rogue House.
That's how Rogue House became. Well, Rogue House became Rogue House because I went rogue. Literally, I went rogue, and it's everyone's rogue. So and we all come together in one roof.
Yeah, I mean that's like one of those typical stories. You have to take like the big risk. Like you weren't ready. You did get a lot of feedback from your clients when you were working, and that you were supposed to be not in the field of working, but actually owning your own business because obviously you're great at operating the business. So it's a great heads up, that you got, and you did make the right move. Obviously, hearing from you right now. So going in, like, what was your mindset, of like, I know like you took out a loan out, but what were your thoughts?
Oh well, it was really hard. I mean, I struggled. I had clients, and then I think there was me at one point and maybe two other people, and I had to start off with. I started off just like everyone else. I had renters, and I had a junior stylist, so then I know I can grow them for the years to come. But honestly, I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just kind of putting the pieces together. And everyone was booth renting that I said, no, this isn't right. Like, we have to get this into a salon and a brand. And that's when Rogue House really became Rogue House, was when we had everyone in one roof. But during that time, oh God, I remember crying a lot. It was 80 hours of hard work. I was dealing with 3 months of clients like waiting for me. I was dealing with understanding the finance, hiring people. I just didn't know. I was so frustrated. I was working over and over again, and it wasn't fun. It was hard work that had to be done, and I just didn't know how to do it at that time.
Yeah, everyone, they see all these, like social media and everything, and they think everything is perfect. like if you go on your Instagram page or your business page, they're like, oh, oh, she did it with like ease, but obviously they don't see the hard work behind all those times. It takes time and effort.
Well, it really started to change for me, honestly. It did, because I came up with the master plan. I hired a virtual assistant, and I'm Filipino, so there are a lot of Filipinos that are known for virtual assistants. And if I know anything about the culture, they are loyal, respectful, hardworking, and they are always just so friendly. And that was kind of the service that you got from Filipinos, you know. Yeah, and that's the culture. That's why I'm here. That's who I want to represent. I want to represent those Filipinos that are like, I'm humble, I'm loyal, I'm faithful, I'm hardworking. You're coming to my business, that this is how I'm servicing you, and this is how the experience is going to go for any business, right?
So how was that experience? Um, it was a virtual assistant, obviously, but how did you delegate work, deadlines, and all that stuff? The small things that people really don't talk about. That's all.
Well, when you asked the question of entrepreneurship, um, the journey really started way before. My dad died when I was 2, and my mom raised me, and she had a really hard time raising us. She took 3 jobs. So, as an Asian Filipino daughter, we had to get everything right. And she really she trained us. Like, I was I was the beauty pageant queen when I was like 3 years old. I did ballet when I was 5 or 6, piano. I also got into acting. If you catch me, I am in a couple of things, but I don't say what, but it's exciting. Yeah, I did that for like 4 years in LA. And then, as I got older, I, wanted to understand myself and self-development. And I became really obsessed. I became obsessed with self-development. I was like, I felt when I was growing up, I felt something was wrong with me. Like, that internal voice that's like, you're not cool, you're not good. Like, and I was acting like everything was cool and happy, but inside I was dying. I wanted to die all the time. Literally, I wanted to die all the time because my dad died, and I grew up with, not in my head, literally, I grew up being like, okay, there must be something wrong. Like, I don't understand why I'm like this. But then having that voice, the self-development and the obsession came to be that I delved into everything. I went into landmark education. I was there for 5, 6 years. I did all the training there. I did their leadership program. I am a certified life coach through IPEC. That is an institution professional executive coaching. And then also too, I did all of the Tony Robbins seminars. I'm trained by the platinum mentors who had trained me for about 6 months. And then during this time of entrepreneurship, like anyone that's, when I was owning a salon, I didn't know how to do it, that I was like, let me go into every program. So I did. I went into every program. I went into Empowering You. I went to HPSA. I went to Fill Your Books. I went to RBB. I went into Profit for Salons. I went to Salon Summit. Like, you name it, I did it. Like, I'm like, what is their framework? What is their program? How do you do it? So being the achiever, like, it's in you, your skill, you know it. Like, I graduated college in like 3 years. I ran 5.5 marathons in 1 year. Yeah. Like, you are the achiever, right? Yeah. Like, you're like, I gotta go, I gotta do it, I gotta go. And then you're like, what is my calling? And then when you get into that, what is my calling? Then you have to figure that out. And that takes a period of time. And when you reach your soul work of how to serve, that's when it becomes real. And are you ready to hear my story? Are you ready? Are you ready?
Let's go.
No go. All right.
I feel like I'm ready.
Here we go.
Here we go.
All right. Okay, so in 2020, I walked into a gun shooting, And just at the nighttime, I was just walking in East Village. And yeah, I know, right? And I'm like, it's like, I think it was like 12 or whatever. And I literally walked and I'm like, and then boom, like right there on 7th where I live, 7th and Avenue A, the shots went off. I was hiding under a car. I didn't know what I was going to do. I literally thought I was going to die. I was like, I could get shot. I'm like, and then in the first thought in my head, I was like, oh my God, what about my workers? Like, what's going to happen to them? Like, what happened? What happened?
See, that's what an entrepreneur is. You think
about other people. You think about other people.
About business all like 20%.
Yeah, you think about business, right? I know first thought, and then I hit, and then I had PTSD, and then we had COVID, and then COVID was like, all right, let me try to save the salon. So I already had a backup plan. I was ready to move with my mom, and I was like, all right, I'm going to move to my mom. If this doesn't work out, like, I'll just go back and start from the beginning. But really, and during that time, we saved my salon. I nestled like about 15K on GoFundMe, and it was just from our community and the people who wanted our help. And it was just like how I was serving people saw that, but it gets crazy. Like, trying to have a salon and then going back during COVID and trying to get money. I finally like reached, I got a loan from SBA. And I'm like, nice. Oh, amazing. I'm going to open up my salon. So from a 4-chair salon, I opened a 4-chair to a 6-chair salon. I'm like, oh, my dreams are happening. I'm finally going into a 6-chair salon. And in 2021, in June, the day before I opened my salon, I was robbed. I was beaten. It was crazy. The guy like rammed my head into a wall, and then he punched my face, and then he literally like took a snack off my arm. I was like, dang, like, and he had a knife too. Like, this is crazy shit. I'm talking about crazy shit. Yo, like, if you want to say, hey, I went down to hell, I was in hell for like 3 years. No, it gets crazy after this. Let me go through the story. This is not. So I go and I have PTSD after like opening my salon. I think like, this is a blessing. Like, I finally have a 6-chair salon. I felt like it was a curse. Yeah. I was like, oh my God, like, why? Like, this just came down on me. So then I try to do the best with like the brand and, and then actually this is crazy. Like, then I had to go to New York Fashion Week and nobody knew anything that happened, but I'm just like trying to put like a smiling face. I'm like, everything's cool, but really it's hurting. It's hurting so bad, So during this time, I'm running my business and I'm on autopilot because I just, what you just go through your day to day. It's not like you get inspiration or anything was moving. Like literally I was on autopilot for, the next couple of years. And because of that, I had to deal with PTSD and I literally tried to do everything I can. Again, as an achiever, I went through Reiki, I went through a therapist, I went through life coaching, I went through mental spiritual work, I went through like lots of extra, I freaking tried to do everything to get my mind to change. Yeah, and it was so hard. It dragged me. And during that time, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be in front of people. Time to eat, time to be fat, time to change my hair color, do whatever I want to do.
Just be different.
Move yourself from where the person.
Wait, but it doesn't stop there. That's 2021, okay? Okay, 2022 happens the year later, and I'm still going through this stuff. Check this. I fall down and I crack my brain, and there's a brain injury, and I can't. And literally, I had to show up in New York Fashion Week 2 weeks after that, or a week after that, a week after that. Oh and during that time, when I couldn't even talk, and people probably thought was like, oh, she here's a lead artist, like, what is she doing? I don't know how to do hair right now. My brain isn't working. So, the people that were there was really the people. They were my girl Rebecca. We'll get to her, but and then it gets crazy. Someone, because of everything that had happened, it was just like someone stole money from me. I was just in a down part. Like, I think it was so crazy that like someone literally, I had to get another loan because I was starting a salon. I couldn't get it really going. It was good. It was just that like, so anyways, someone had a loan shark stole 20K out of my account, just like that. I thought and I was bedridden. So I was like, man, at this point when that happened, at that point I was like, I really want to kill myself. Like, I want to kill myself. Like,
there's a lot going on.
Yeah,
like,
this is so,
yeah.
I'm like, why is this draining me? And at that point, it wasn't like, I didn't love my life. I liked living in New York. It was more like, I didn't want people to see me fail.
Yeah.
I didn't want people to know that I failed. That's why. Like,
yeah.
And so thank God out of this, like, because my business survived, it was really due to salon receptionists. I built a framework of virtual live receptionists that carried me through my salon. They take care of the administrative work. They take care of the reviews. They take care of onboarding people. They take care of everything. And I built those frameworks out of everything that I learned. And like, I couldn't run my salon. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I couldn't run it. I couldn't run it. And it's because I had virtual live.
Yeah, I saw that software that you built out and like salonreceptions.com. And so, yeah, it's like, it has like different like pricing and all that.
But would you believe, I don't know the software obviously, but is it for like new stores or like large like Manhattan Midtown stores, or what type of like customer are you looking? Do you think we'll be using this software?
Oh, okay. So this is not a software. This is a virtual receptionist.
Like
it's a service.
Okay,
yeah, this is a service. So this is virtual live receptionist. So what we want to do is we want to take out the receptionist at your salon and use a call center and hire these people at they literally, salon owners come, they just pay $8 an hour. We pay them their living wage in the Philippines. And we tell our salon owners that, who's working for you? They're hardworking moms who work globally. Mm-hmm. And these hardworking moms are loyal, they're respectful, they want to help your business. They want to do everything. They have beautiful voices and they are there for you. They're not the receptionists that are going to be there and just leave and you put training down. I think every entrepreneur that thinks about it, it's like, damn, we just like put a lot of training into this person and then they leave. Like, that's the hard fall of it when you do that. Yeah. And even when I meet people, I now, the value of, of that time that we're together, it could either be of impact or it could be of value, and it could be something that is really beautiful in the sense that, like, so for instance, sorry, I just lost my train of thought. I was downloading a lot of information. I was like, whoa, what's going on here? So yeah, when I have people at the salon, and we just make sure that everyone is like taken care of. We make sure that it's not your regular salon. It's a place where it feels like a lounge. And so everything that I do has a dynamic, eclectic kind of vibe to it. Like, I don't want to be the salons out there that are so, rush transactional. Yeah. Like, we want you to come into a lounge and have an experience and hang out. Like, this is a lounge. So I want to say that Rogue House, it's a lounge and you hang out. And that I want to see the salons that are lounges. Mm-hmm. Let's make it a lounge. So I have a couple of businesses. I have Salon Receptionist, which is the virtual live receptionist. And that helps Filipino moms and salon owners ditch the front desk. And so it's a win-win situation. And the business that is really evolving right now too, the other business is called the House of Annex. And that is the runway editorial firm with my partner, Rebecca and Rebe. And she is so amazing. She started this with me. We've been with our team. And what we do at New York Fashion Week is we train hairstylists to be ready to take on their work to editorial platform. and also to work with high-end names. We just had one of our artists work with another high-end artist.
Just so we know, what does editorial mean in that sense?
Sorry. So in the hair industry world, editorial means like fashion. It means like photography. It means like runway. It's kind of lumped up into editorial, like, an Urban Dictionary word if you had to put it in there.
Yeah, I saw that website, the one you're talking about, and there's like events, like it's like a 2-day event. Like how long are those?
Oh, right. House of Annex. So you go and you can do either a 1-day event, a 4-day event, and you come in, we train you, you go through our workshop, we train you with business, and then you really, like when you're there at New York Fashion Week, it really becomes a place of magic. Like, I love it. Like, doing hair, you actually, when you are in it, you see how much like hair you could do in 1 hour. Yeah, like I think one time I was doing like 6 girls. I was like, 6 girls in 1 hour, like, woo, I just challenged myself. That's really cool. Like, so, and then when you walk out of New York Fashion Week as a hairstylist, you were living with the energy sparkle of like, I just came out in New York Fashion Week, I feel so inspired.
It builds your confidence,
But that sparkle that you leave from New York Fashion Week, you take it to the salon, and that lasts for 6 months to a year. That experience when you go to New York Fashion Week. So we want hairstylists to have that experience. We want to promote your work. If you are anywhere in your business and you want to be a hairstylist, that's like, how do you do this? We will give you the framework to, to get to the top.
It gets their name out there as well, right? Because I know I saw on the website.
We do. We actually connect people.
Yeah.
And that's part of our firm. I mean, when you become part of our community, we're connecting you, but we're good. Like, it's always good. That's like one of the things that I always like to say to people is that it's always good. It's chill. We always just want to have a relaxed vibe. There is no judgment. Sometimes when I talk to people and they talk to me, I'm like, no judgment. It's cool. Like, we good, take off your armor. Like, we can get down with it, Yeah.
I had a question. So do you personally work with, or like as a business work with New York Fashion Week to, hire or, connect these hairstylists? Or like, how does that process work?
Wait, I'm sorry. Can you ask that again?
I'm trying to understand, because you said you take these hairstylists who want to learn the trade and get experience from a New Fashion Week. So how do you connect them and
I like that.
make them be present at the fashion show during the week? How does that work?
So you mean like on social media, like promoting them?
No. What I mean is, because I'm guessing the hairstylists go and do the job, work with the models during the week, right? I understand. I'm just trying to understand, how does that process work? As for anyone who's probably watching this, they're probably trying to understand, how do I learn the trade and actually also work at the fashion show?
Okay, so what I'm hearing you say is, like, how do I work at New York Fashion Week? How do I be at the fashion show?
Yeah, because through, obviously, House of Annex.
Yeah. Oh, okay, I got you. Okay, so when you work with House of Annex, your experience is, you can either go for 1 day or you can go to 4 days. And depending on what you want, we do a workshop, and you'll work a day, and the day is, you get the experience of 3 things. You get to see the shows, you get to see the models, you get to see, you get to work with people who are in the industry, you get to connect with people. And so honestly, this is a networking hub. Like, if you've never been to New York Fashion Week, this is the place. Like, this is the place where you get photos and content. You will use those photos and content for like years. Like, just go.
How many pieces of content like you guys put for these stylists? Like around, is it more than 100? Like what is that?
What content? Well, every person, I don't think that some hairstylists, and this is the part where I like to come into the business, is so my partner Rebecca, she is the she's the front end, and now I'm the back end of the business. And I talked to the stylist about business and how to start their brand, and then what it looks like to pivot to launch their brand. And that's when you join House of Annex. So
it's like a development program.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I would say that all the training that I got, they're going to get it. You ask questions, you want it, you're hungry. You push me, I push back. You know, you're hungry, I will be there. I will empower you. I will support you. You know, I've had people where they just like kind of just followed and just wanted to hang out with me because they wanted to understand. I was in Paris, and our photographer, he wasn't like dressed right. And so I had to get him ready. And I was like, dang, like, this is crazy. Like, I didn't tell him, and he just came and, you know, whatever. And actually, we kind of just met him because he took some photos of us, like, on the street and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I connected with him. He was Filipino, and it wasn't because he wasn't dressed, I wasn't about to spend a lot on him. And he was telling me that he had a family and kids and stuff, and he just moved to the Philippines. That I'm like, okay, well, my budget's like $100. Like, let's get you clothes, right?
Yeah.
So we go to like Palace Vendome or something, and it's like literally like I think the H&M for shoes were like $80. I was like, what is going on? I'm like, we just spent an hour. So then this guy that I was walking with, it was so funny. He's like, I'm like, okay, this is what we're going to do. I need you to think 10 steps ahead, 10 steps. Okay. All right. I'm going to grab these things, and you're going to find the blazer. All right. I come back. I'm like, okay, where is it? Where's the blazer? I'm like, I just got your hat. I got your shirt. I got your shoes. What's going on? I'm like, okay, well, here it is. I'm like, okay, we've got to move fast. We've got to go. And then as we keep going, I'm like, okay, this isn't it. This isn't it. Let's keep going. I'm like, okay, how do we keep under our budget of 100? How do we do it? And then, he's like, how do you do? He saw me like work 5 million things while I was in this one area picking things and then responding to emails, and then like the entrepreneur that's like, okay, how do you do the 10 million things that you have to do right now? And you're supposed to be at this place, So immediately I was like, let me process, let me think. And he started asking me questions like, who are you? How did you do this? How did you get to be where you're at? Like, he just saw everything. And then I just answered him. I'm like, I'm here to serve. Like, I am here to serve, and that was my simple answer. And then he's like, because of you, I am now going to change the way that I look. I'm going to change and I'm like, and we actually ended up going to some thrift store. We got everything under 100. And man, wow. When he wore the blazer and he wore the hat and the shoes, and I gave him life.
Confidence, everything.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, I saw. I did, and who I am in that one moment, and that's what I mean about impact value. Velocity. Yeah. That's who we are. Yeah.
Another thing is like is more about like what you gave him is like it wasn't like what you said, it's like how you said it. You like, hey, do this, do that, and
I think it's more about actions and the time frame you did.
It was experience.
Obviously, you as an entrepreneur focus on a lot of things and especially in a short span of time, because there are a lot of things going on, and you just have to get them out of the way and get them done. And I think that's something that you probably never realized.
So what was the moment you saw that you're like, okay, I could run this business successfully? It could be your own salon or the other businesses you have right now. Like, what was that moment?
When I was bedridden. I couldn't, and when I had PTSD, honestly, I couldn't show up at the salon like after I got robbed and beaten. Who wants to show up?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And then I had a brain concussion. So, that's when I knew. I had this framework and it worked. I couldn't even show up at the salon that I had a framework and it worked, and the salon was doing well. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of these entrepreneurs I saw, they all purchased the course for Tony Robbins, that one. So it's like what is in that course? You know, like
Yeah.
Well, I went to the work. I went to all his trainings.
Tell us about that experience. Actually.
Well, I went to Unleash the Fire. I walked in fire. You know, I had to my feet got burned. I mentally did not prepare myself that I was in pain. Like it's a mental preparedness when you have to walk through fire.
Really?
Yeah, and then
You actually walk like
I walked through fire.
Is it cold? Like,
No, this is coal. It's coal, hot fire. Yeah, actually,
it's at the workshop.
It unleashed the power within. Everybody has to walk through fire. You want to walk through fire? Go to Tony Robbins, unleash the power.
Do they
still do that?
do they sign you up like a waiver and whatnot?
I'm pretty sure. I think whenever you sign something, there's already legal documents signed. Like sign your life away. Yeah. All right, check. I have no idea what I'm signing, but let's just sign this, right? Yeah.
So how was that? So did you see people going in, and how was the experience before you actually walked?
When you walked in and when you got out, what was that transformation within yourself? It could be, you know, like within yourself, like how you felt afterwards.
Oh, right. Well, during that time of discovery, I found that I was of course, like anyone, I was a workaholic and I wasn't letting anyone in, and that it personally drove me down because I wasn't letting anyone in, and I think that was in year like 4 or 5. I would probably year 4 of entrepreneurship, and so that really transformed me because that's when I knew I had to balance the life, and I knew I wasn't balancing it. I knew it. Like we just let work overdrive. But when you actually now the stage that I'm in, I really prepare for my mental mind frame, and if anything, that is where it's at. I do a whole meditation practice at the night with subliminal messages of I'm happy, I'm everything is going great, everything is fine. I actually program myself in the morning, and I have like an hour and a half to 2 hours of training of meditations of you are awesome, you are wealthy, you are great. You know, I freaking program my freaking head to mentally walk in impact and get ready to prime myself. Right. Yeah. And then also too, just like everyone, I used to watch a lot of TV during my downtime, you know, but I started this year actually was interesting because I woke up last year. I started to listen to more music, and actually I noticed instead of watching, TV, music, which has evolved in this generation, and music is so powerful. It's so freaking crazy of how many genres and how many different beats there are. I mean, I can name amazing artists, but like I just dance at home a lot. And I'm dancing, I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm like, you know, doing whatever I have to do, but not watching TV. And when I was down and depressed, and one of my girlfriends gave me the best like advice, you know, and because I was down, and she's like, you got to keep it moving. Yeah. I'm all, keep it moving. Move. I mean, I was already moving, but I wasn't moving where it was like to the point where it meant something different. Yeah. So keep it moving. Always keep it moving. Yeah. Now I dance a lot. I dance at my home.
Yeah, like even today, like before the podcast, like you were telling me like you're meditating.
I was meditating.
Yeah, so it's like it's good that you're in that right mindset.
Yeah.
You know, like, and the confidence you have right now, you're talking all that. Like people think it just comes natural, but like you could also like it's different like tactics that you could use to like prep yourself before. Yeah. It could be before a seminar, before a big event, and you need to get ready. It's like different things you could do.
Mindset is everything. So now going into year 8, the mindset and the preparation, and all the entrepreneurs that talk about it it's all about the mindset.
There's this book, I'm not sure, you know, it's called Psycho-Cybernetics, and it's one of the best books on the planet. Like it's it's so good.
We were talking about this book 2 weeks ago before the spring break, and he loves this book.
Yeah, my friend, he read this book 4 times. And he's keep reading. He's like, I'm gonna read this book every year.
You mentioned this to me before, yeah, like on our call.
Yeah, probably something like that.
You're obsessed with this.
I haven't. I've seen the book. I have not.
What is it about?
So pretty much, it goes in depth on how like someone could like, let's say like anything like a person's doing right now, like they could change themselves, and everything is all in the head. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it's called your state. So Tony Robbins teaches this. It's called state. And so you change your appearance of state, like it can happen in an instant, right? And you just have to move and you have to flow and you have to go with it. Like all the entrepreneurs that you speak to, we're all chameleons. You tell us to put us in a place, like we'll move or we'll do whatever it is. And actually because of that, like I am working to be on the 3% of that. Like how do you become that chameleon, that uniqueness, that person? You know, I actually love this one. It was crazy. Like, when I think about who I am or what people say about me and stuff, they go, they say sometimes I'm intimidating, and then I know it kind of sometimes they're like just from the look, and then they're like, and then sometimes they could be like, dang, she's a bitch, but she's cool as fuck. And the bitch part comes from me just being bluntly honest, and then I think as I'm starting to do this journey, that's the confidence. Confidence is a skill. And I am actually empowered, like 2024 and what's going on with me right now. I had to evolve into this. I had to evolve into like speaking this way. When you say, wow, you have a nice voice for podcast. And I was like, yo, I freaking practiced this. Like, I practiced this. I was like testing 1, 2, 3. I used to talk like this. Okay, listen. Hi, I'm Jamielynn. It's so nice to meet you. It's so great. Oh my gosh. So awesome. Yeah, but who's gonna listen to that, right? That was my Cali girl. Like, let me be insecure, whatever. And now here's the entrepreneur me. Yo, I'm Jamielynn, and we're gonna get down to business. Yes. Yeah.
The same thing, right? So when I was doing like doing door to door, and so like I kind of had like this theory, right? Or I gotta like act like super professional, and I can't talk like in my deep voice and like how I'm talking to my friend. So like when I was going door to door, I'm like, "Hi, my name is Ali." I was talking like so calm.
Well, here's the thing too, and not that many people notice this, and this is a trick too, and this is what I want to say to people: practice everything that you say.
Yeah.
Practice everything that you say. Everything that you say is a negotiation. Let me give you a tool before we leave. It's called TMI. Touch, Move, and Inspire. Okay. T stands for touch. Okay. So this is a great tool. I teach this to everyone. T is touch. So when you're trying to talk to anyone and you're trying to negotiate, or you're trying to persuade them, or you're trying to just have them do anything. TMI. Touch, Move, and Inspire.
Okay. No.
Okay. T. Touch. Be authentic. Okay? Be authentic. Okay? Move. Okay? Move is take responsibility. I is inspire. Okay, so here's a conversation. Say that I want to ask you for $1 million. Okay, I'm going to do TMI with you. Okay. So I am looking to get this business funded. And this business is about helping women, start a food drive. And I really want to do this because my family who are in the Philippines need this. They really, really need this. And I'm wondering how much you can offer. Would you be able to provide $1 million? Did you see how I just did that TMI? Yeah. Did you see how I did touch, move, and inspire within that conversation? Yeah. Did you see how I T is be authentic. Yeah. Move, take responsibility. I inspire, create the opportunity.
So the touch, like how you mentioned, like your family back home in the Philippines, so it kind of touched me, like, now I felt connected. And I'm like, okay, like, all right.
I just made that story up.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. I know. I'm just saying, like, like.
Yeah, you felt touched.
Exactly.
Right, and that's what we want to do. That's what we want to do. We want to do touch, move, and inspire with everyone. If you could talk this way to people and know to T, be authentic, be raw, move, take responsibility. I was talking to girls, and like now I don't even like to talk. I really don't like to talk to girls. I only have guy friends because girls will fucking complain. And then I had a girlfriend who would complain. And then I'm like, the problem with you, and I just said it so blunt. That's why some people call me a bitch. I'm like, the problem with you is you don't take responsibility for your words. I'm all like, if you're complaining, I would be like, this is how I felt today. Not like he did this and put blame,
I hope Rebecca doesn't listen to this.
Oh, Rebecca. Oh, that's funny. She probably has.
You should be a good salesperson.
Yeah, what?
Although you should be a good salesperson.
Oh, I mean, that's part of the journey, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you have to be a salesperson. You have to be able to sell anything when you get to this level of entrepreneurship. Yeah. You have to sell everything that's around.
Actually, I want to get into that. Obviously, as you're growing and as you're growing a team, how do you train them to be like you, and how do you develop these people work under you, to serve you?
Yeah.
How do you train them to, somewhat work like you, behave like you, have that mindset when they're, completing tasks and whatnot.
Yeah, pretty much just firing yourself.
Yeah. Like, how do you leave the salon
And
and you know you can trust these people, right? Okay, so here's the answer. The answer is in training, you walk the walk, right? But then also too, you say the things a million times. And and I would probably say the way this is magical. This is probably how I probably like got the team is every time we have a meeting, I call our team Elevate. And so within the meeting, everybody has to know the values of Rogue House. And the values for Rogue House is leadership, community, win-win, honesty, communication. And so I'm always saying this at the meetings. And because of that, I'm like, these are the 5 values that drive the business. These are the 5 values that I make decisions about. This is the 5 values that I hire people about. And then when I do hire people, I kind of have my spiel and I go, there's one rule, no shit talking or you're terminated. And so, and I'm like, and honestly, and then I have to explain to them, I'm like, no shit talking. I'm like, you take responsibility for who you are.
Yeah.
If you're about to say something about someone, you take that responsibility, right? So that's the frame and the culture that I provide in terms of how we're doing it. And then I also lead with, we empower and we support. So these words, even when you hear me, I mean, I think you guys know, like, even just being around me, I probably will say the same words over and over, like, let's empower, let's support, like, how can I serve, how can I do this, right? Like, I am the living, like, personal brand that of myself that I have to always walk around with, right? So in terms of like leading this team and the culture, that is how I deal with it. I say the 5 values and we say it at the meetings, and then I walk and I talk. And and then also too, the team knows that. And then I also lead with I am. So when they get hired, I'm like, please treat me like a friend. And I'm like, not like a boss. I'm your friend. And I actually have to train them that way. And then after I train them that way, then I go into the reverse, which is okay. Yeah, then I backtrack and I go, okay, just remember I'm your boss first and your friend second. That way they can feel very comfortable with me. And then they actually tell me about their personal lives. And then when they tell me about their personal lives, there's no judgment. I'm receiving the information. I just receive. I'm a receiver. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's great. So I provide this space for people to be who they are in front of me anywhere I go. Right? So that's how I live and walk the talk within the culture. And that's where I go everywhere. Whether I'm at New York Fashion Week, I'm just your friend. Whether I'm here, like, we just want to like walk that talk.
Yeah. I like the values, how you guys have like these different slogans and stuff. Because some companies, they have rules.
I actually don't know. I'll piggyback on that.
Go ahead.
Actually, 2 semesters ago, I was taking this class called Psych 4185. It's a training and development class, actually. And one of my professors, he worked in a hospitality industry, and as a hotel company, what they did is pretty much put up their values on the walls and everywhere. So at first when he came into the job, he felt that it was just it's just like a thing like people do, employees don't really care about it. But one day he was telling us, he was in the elevator and these 2 employees were talking about his values and how they want to achieve that or like behave like this or develop through these values. And at that day my professor realized that these values do work and they do empower people to work in a different way or have a different mindset when they come on the job.
Yeah. I think installing values in the beginning is important. And if they are not about the values, you need to let them go. And also as well is you need to deal with the hardship of knowing that if you have to be 3, 4, 5 people at one time, you have to do that. So like the hardship of salon owners also is they want to hire, but you have to understand in the beginning stages that you need to do everything and you need to deal with the growing pains. And the growing pains are very hard. They're like, so in the salon in the beginning stages, I was doing 80 hours. I probably took on the whole salon, like the 4 chairs, right? I had an assistant, and then I hired people slowly. Those are the grueling stages. And you just have to know that you have to just go through it. And, the 3 years that I was the worst years of my life, I stuck and I held on to faith, and I'm like, one day that day will come. And it's the same thing here. It's like that one day will come, and you keep on holding and you keep on persevering. And when that day happens, and here's another tool I want to provide, because I have so much, love and information to give you. I visualized me right now. When you wake up, you visualize a 5-year version of yourself. You have to visualize the 5-year version. And then here's what happens, and this is what I learned in manifestation through Reagan Heller and Mind Valley, is that like when you are visualizing the person that you want to become, and then you are in this space, in a different space, and when your future self is looking to come into your present self, that happens in frequency and energetically, that the universe bends to you because you have to match that person, right? So I visualized her. So let me give you an example. I visualized myself, and I was the me like a year ago, okay? And the me a year ago was like, wow, she's going to be a badass. She's going to be a bitch, but she's going to be cool as fuck, and she's going to be hot, and she's going to be so cool, right? But I was still walking, I was still walking. And as I tried to figure out her just happened. And then one day, actually, I woke up and I was like, oh my God, I became her. And then now I'm visualizing the 5-year version of me that takes on globally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in the book that I was telling you before, like it says that pretty much you can like visualize what you want to do and actually live that moment. Like if you want to do something tomorrow, all you gotta do is just think in your mind how you're gonna do it, and then it's gonna happen. Like even this podcast, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have her on the podcast, and then what we're gonna talk about. I visualize it, and now it's happening.
Wow. Yeah, visualization is so strong, and it's such a strong tool. If anyone can practice tools. So also another tool, if you in the beginning stages of entrepreneur, practice tools for life, any types of tools, right? Any types from your coaches and anything that's going to resonate with you. Yeah. Like I said, I went through so many self-development courses. I actually got baptized recently in 2019, 2017. Yeah, 2019, I think, and I was Catholic to Christian, but I just wanted to renew my faith. And in those years, I was celibate, and I was just a faith and purity and wanting to serve, and I didn't understand my calling. Yeah. And then honestly, and then after that, the 3 years happened. No, literally, I got baptized, and then it was like, and then I was like, cool, and then boom, 3 years of hell, and then now I'm like, all right. Kingdom of glory is about to happen. Like kingdom of glory is about to reign. That's all.
Yeah, so finally, so the way I like to end the podcast is, so anyone that's in your shoes, like when you're 18-year-old, like what advice would you give to your younger self, getting into the salon industry or any business. So what is that advice that you would give to someone?
Work on your confidence and practice confidence in your branding, and understand how you can impact and serve, and know what you live and know what you are passionate about. And if you can do that at the age of 18 and understand and gain tools and knowledge and understand how to do marketing at a young age, man, you're going to kill it.
Nice. Mm-hmm. So, and then what's next for your salon, the Rogue House Salon, mm-hmm. And what are some exciting plans in the future?
Oh, well, I mean, I like I said, I just woke up and like all these like awesome things are happening. Visually, what is happening is I'm traveling a lot. I'm going to Peru Fashion Week. I'm going to Paris Fashion Week. Right now, we're about to head to DC to do the Caroline Herrera show at Washington, DC. And then we do Miami Swim Week with Maji, so our brand gets to be there. And all the good stuff that is coming along the way, as well as like my book. I'm going to launch a book. I don't know when, but I'm on the works of it. It's Ditch the Front Desk, of course, my digital course.
That's a nice title.
Yeah, it is. Oh, I want people to ditch the front desk. And also too, it's really being the public figure of virtual receptionists, because I think that everyone should have a virtual receptionist in the Philippines, because they are loyal, they are hardworking, they're responsible, and they will nurture your business, and we will empower it. So yeah, that's all.
Nice. Yeah, so it's been fantastic having you on the show, Jamielynn. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and experiences as a salon owner, But before we do wrap up, where can our listeners connect with you and learn more about you?
You can just find me on Instagram. I'll be able to tell you where all these things are happening as I launch, but the journey's just beginning. Yeah. I just woke up.
Thank you again. It was nice having you here on the show on Biz Echoes.
I'm excited. This is cool. Biz Echoes. All right, cool.
Yeah, and there you have it, guys. Make sure to tune in with Biz Echoes, and thank you again.
Thank you.